Is K2 on the camera perch? Is the live feed shut off? Thumbs up. All right. Vava Doom's birthday is today. Happy birthday, Vava Doom. Will you all join me in singing happy birthday to my derby wife? Are we ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Vava Doom. Happy birthday to you. You're amazing. I love you, Vava. I am so offended. How dare you? we are counting down for our second bout of the morning. Your She-Devils up against your Arizona Hotties. Featuring Elizabeth Taylor in the infields. I tripped over my words, woman. We got 2 minutes left. We're going to go ahead and get started with team introductions for you right now.
We're going to start things off with your lineup for this bout for the Pin Jersey Roller Derby She-Devils B Squad. Number 00, Blitzen Slam. Blitzen Slam, that is. Number 00, Blitzen Slam. Number 28, Reanimator. Number 36, Trouble. Number 39, Bomber. Number 40, Make You Wink. Number 45, Ruby Bruisday. Number 080, the co-captain, Danny Longlegger. Number 84, John Doe. Number 89, Nick Nasty. Number 295.1, Schizophrenic. Number 789, your captain, Sneaky Spice. Number 3000, Monster. Number 5363, Glitter Dunn. And number 8316, Pixie Thrust.
For your Arizona Hotties, we've got number 3, Goldie Blocks. Number 13, Abby Arsenic. Number 172, Pikachu. Number 244, Damn It, Jam It. Number 500, Indy. Number 666, Witchy Woman. Number 717, Rocky Horror. Number 1221, Pretty Please. Number 1945, Malice Aforethought. Number 2115, Watermelon. 2187, Princess Leia. Oh my God, Killing Me Smalls. Your co-captain for this game, 1012, Skeletina. Your captain for this game, my derby wife and our birthday girl, number 217, Vava Doom. Waiting on that first whistle. We've got 20 seconds left on that clock to get started for your second bout of this morning. Third day of our Chingadera tournament. It's been so much fun all weekend long to see all of these skaters from all over the country come out here and fight that good fight out there on that track. Lots of great roller derby has happened today already, and it's only what, 10? That's the first whistle. We've got Skeletina taking that jammer line for Arizona. Up against Make You Wink.
With that whistle, we have gotten underway, and Skeletina ends up tumbling down towards the infield. Now back up on her skates, trying to go by those last two She-Devils blockers on the high side. And they're called out of play in Skeletina's lead jammer for the Hotties.
The Hotties doing a great job of keeping those blockers back. Skeletina trying to fake out that She-Devil blocker, and she makes it past, calls it off before Danny Longlegger even has a chance to score any points. You've got Reanimator from your She-Devils up against Princess Leia from your Hotties.
Reanimator is stuck in the back of the pack. Princess Leia up to the outside, able to sneak by along the rail, and Princess Leia is your lead jammer for the Hotties. Reanimator is now trying to fight her way through. There's a solid block of 4 Arizona defenders holding her in place. Meanwhile, at the back of the pack, Princess Leia's got a blocker helping her out. Reanimator is able to shake clear on the front end. Princess Leia gets through the pack as well. And she goes ahead and calls off the jam after picking up her points.
Looks like Blitzen Slam picked up a penalty during that last jam. She got a failure to reform. She's going to be reporting to the penalty box, which means that these She-Devils are going to be down 1 blocker for this next jam, with Goldie Blocks jamming for Arizona up against Trouble for the She-Devils. Trouble's having a hard time getting past that Arizona defensive wall there in the back. Goldie Block's trying to get past those last She-Devil blockers. She's almost out, and she's out on that straightaway. Coming around for her first scoring pass. Meanwhile, Trouble is having some trouble getting past Arizona. Oh no, I see a panty somewhere. Goldie Blocks makes it through, trying to get her points. She's gonna wait it out. Lots of action going on that track. Before Trouble gets the opportunity to score any points, Goldie Blocks calls it. Looks like Rocky Horror picked up a penalty during that last jam, so Arizona's gonna be skating one blocker short with your birthday girl, Bava Doom, on that jammer line for Arizona, up against Sneaky Spice for your She-Devils. Bava Doom swooping low, trying to get through, but she gets a hard hit from Ruby Bruised to that infield. Bava Doom trying to pick up some speed and get past all of those blockers. She's able to make it out. She is your lead jammer, and she calls it. Sneaky Spice was just a little bit too close for comfort.
So we'll get ready for the next jam. It's going to be Rocky Horror jamming for the Hotties. And for the She-Devils, that is May Q Wink taking the jammer line. We've got one She-Devil blocker in the penalty box. And this jam is underway. May Q Wink right up the middle. Rocky Horror trying to get by on the outside. May Q Wink down to the inside. Now Rocky Horror takes that outside line and is your lead jammer for Arizona. May Q Wink tumbles to the track surface now. Gets up. It's got one Arizona blocker to deal with as the other Arizona blockers are trying to set up their blocker. Their jammer in the back of the pack. Rocky Horror gets by on a scoring pass. May Q Wink was hung up in the back. Rocky Horror gets through and she calls the jam.
Looks like Watermelon picked up a low block during that last jam, so Arizona's going to be skating down one blocker. We've got Princess Leia on that jammer line up against Reanimator from She-Devils. Looks like it's a 4-on-3 pack. Princess Leia and Reanimator going out there trying to get past all of those defensive blockers. Princess Leia taking a hit to the inside and ending up behind the pack. Meanwhile, your She-Devil jammer is out and lead. Princess Leia is able to get out there on that coping. That She-Devil jammer is not able to get past too many of those blockers. I wonder how many points she actually picked up. She was able to get 2 points on the scoreboard for the She-Devils with a score of 16. Your Arizona Hotties to 2. Penn Jersey She-Devils beat Squad.
Setting up the jam now is going to be Skeletina for the Hotties, and that's Trouble for the She-Devils. Skeletina spun up to the outside, down to the inside, thought she was clear, but Danny Longlegger said, please have a seat on the infield. Now Skeletina able to get by, and she's your lead jammer for the Hotties. Hot on her tail is Trouble. And Skeletina calls off the jam rather than face a jammer race back to the pack. Setting up the jam now for the She-Devils is going to be Sneaky Spice, and that's Malice Aforethought jamming for the Hotties.
You got a 4-on-3 blocker box there for Arizona, 3 She-Devils. Looks like Sneaky Spice is trying to get to that front of that pack. Malice Aforethought still in the back of the pack, trying to get past some of these She-Devils blockers, and she's able to get through and out. Sneaky Spice still stuck behind a wall of Arizona's defense. Sneaky Spice trying to get past Pretty and Abby. Abby doing a great job of doing some defense. Malice Aforethought stuck behind Ruby Bruised. She calls the jam. Looks like we've got Pikachu on the jammer line for Arizona. Arizona's going to be skating 2 blockers short. Looks like Pretty Please and Witchy Woman picked up some penalties. The jammer for She Devils also picked up a penalty, so this is a power jam for Arizona.
Pikachu trying to fight her way through the pack there and managing to get by on the outside, outruns that last blocker for the She Devils all the way to the front of the pack.
Rocky Horror and Gemma doing a great job of keeping that goat behind them. Pikachu coming up for her first scoring pass. She tries to make it out on that high side, gets a little hip bump and goes down on that high, and then she's able to swoop low and pass John Doe. Whoa. Here we go. Rocky Horror and Gemma still trying to keep that She Devil blocker back. Pikachu coming around for another scoring pass. She comes up to a defensive Danny Legger. Takes a hard hit to that infield, and then she is back up trying to get some more points, but time is out. That's the jam. Looks like one blocker from each team picked up a penalty during that last jam.
And setting up the jam for Arizona is going to be Malice Aforethought, and that is going to be Make You Wink for the She Devils.
I see 2 blockers in that box for your She Devils up against 3 blockers from Arizona. I see Make You Wink trying to play some offense there. Jammer on jammer action. Malice Aforethough's pushing out that blocker to on that straightaway and is able to break out of that pack there in turn 2. That She Devil jammer is still in the pack. Arizona's doing a great job of recycling. Malice Aforethought going up on that high, trying to get past that last blocker, and she's out. Arizona noticing that. We now have a panty pass. Ruby Bruisday picking up that panty from the jammer, and she's trying to break out of that Arizona wall, but they recycled right in front of her. Doing a great job of keeping that wall nice and slow, Arizona. Malice Aforethought is coming to pick up her points. She coasts on that coping, and she's out. Kind of coasting along, killing some time. Till she gets to the pack and she calls it.
That does it for that jam. We're going to go ahead and take a look at any penalties called here. Setting up the jam is going to be Skeletina for Arizona, and going up against Ray Animator for the She Devils. Full pack out there, no penalties for either side. Skeletina trying to find her way through the pack. And meanwhile, Ray Animator just waiting for an opening. And Ray Animator is your lead jammer for the She Devils. Ray Animator heading on around. Skeletina clear of the pack as well, so Ray Animator is going to see what she can get here. Catching up to the pack, trying to walk her way down to the inside, and calls off the jam with Skeletina coming on with a full head of steam. Taking a look at the penalties, it appears that, well, that's interesting. It looks like we got a penalty called on Elizabeth Taylor. Not sure what the code.
Elizabeth Taylor committed a penalty.
It says.
She didn't even skate, but she still got a penalty.
Interesting, yeah. They didn't even have skates on.
It's funny how that works. Looks like we've got Nick Nasty picking up a directional block penalty from the She Devils, so they're going to be skating down one blocker, but I do have an official timeout called by our ref down in the center. Oh, no, sorry, timeout for the Hotties.
Hotties are going to take a team timeout to talk this one over, so we will take a second to let you know about. All right, so we'd like to let you know about your food options here, obviously, as we head into the morning. We've got the Arizona Derby Dame Snack Bar. Be sure to visit them up here to grab a cold beverage or snack. All proceeds go back to the league. Your support is greatly appreciated. If you're looking for something a little bit more substantial, we've got the Off the Hook Taco Truck. Off the Hook Taco Truck, locally owned and operated, serving SoCal and Baja-inspired cuisine. Visit them outside for some delicious food. They have fish tacos, shrimp tacos, chicken, vegetarian, bacon, all sorts of options, and they're going to be here all day long serving food for us. Great chance to pop outside during halftime or between bouts to get yourself a bite to eat. We also have Copper Star Coffee right up here, serving hot beverages as well as fantastic award-winning baked goods. They are a locally owned coffee shop and cafe check out their booth right here next to the merch window, or you can check their shop out in person in a adorable little repurposed gas station on the southwest corner of 7th Avenue in Heatherbrae. That's just north of Indian School on 7th Avenue, right in the middle of the Melrose curve.
Looks like the refs are in position to blow that whistle for your next jam. Well, it appears I spoke too soon.
All right, we are back to the action, and we did have a penalty called during that last jam on the Arizona Jammer, so it's going to be a power jam for the She-Devils. And it's Trouble going to be jamming here, seeing if she can cause some trouble for the Arizona squad on this power jam with 4:17 to go in the first quarter. Trouble is having some difficulty finding her way through the pack there. Fighting her way to the front of the pack and able to go by on the outside there, able to take advantage of a gap along the rail. And Trouble is your lead jammer.
We've got a strong defensive all of Arizona in the front of this pack, doing an accordion drill, trying to make sure that they don't get any points for that other jammer, give up any points. Trouble is coming up on that Arizona defense. She's not able to break through that wall. She's trying to go high in the middle and ends up off of the track. Gets right back up and is going to try again. She's got to get some points for those She-Devils.
Trouble trying to find her way through any way she can. Gets a blocker up there to give her a hand. Gets by a couple of Arizona skaters who will wait for the official score there from the referees.
Oh my goodness. It looks like two of the blockers from the Hotties picked up a penalty during that last jam, and a blocker from your She-Devils also picked up a penalty. They're going to be skating light, both teams. We've got Sneaky Spice up against Goldie Blocks.
Sneaky Spice able to shoot through an opening in the pack, and she's your lead jammer for the She-Devils. She's got about a half-track advantage on Goldie Blocks, who is clear of the pack as well and closing quickly. Getting up to the pack now, that is Sneaky Spice trying to fight her way through some blocking. Takes a tumble and calls off the jam with Goldie Blocks rapidly approaching the pack.
Looks like your Hotties were able to still pick up 3 points. We've got Make You Wink on that jammer line for your She-Devils up against Princess Leia for your Hotties with a 4-on-3 pack in that blocker box. Just waiting on that whistle. And that's the jam. We're starting up that jam. Princess Leia is able to run right on out on that coping right before turn 1. Make You Wink still in that pack, trying to get past Arizona. The other She-Devil blockers trying to get some points for her. Oh, somebody dropped a panty. Keep your panties on. Make You Wink busting out of that pack, putting her helmet panty, trying to put her helmet panty back on. Meanwhile, Princess Leia comes up on that pack. There's a hard hit, gets up and calls it. There's still a panty on the floor. I can't tell if they're saying directional salad or fresh go salad.
Yesterday I thought it was fresco salad.
Fresco salad. Either way, it's a salad of some sorts.
Yes, indeed. Sounds delicious. And light for a nice Monday brunch.
Looks like we've got Skeletina on that jammer line for Arizona up against Ray from the She-Devils. Skeletina's got to get past those last 2 She-Devil blockers. Her team trying to play some offense for her to get her out. And she's out in that straightaway. She's fast. Watch her go. Whoa. Goldie Block silvering a very gnarly hit to that inside. Pixie Thrust taking a hard hit to that infield. Skeletina getting right back up, trying to get some points for her team. She goes high, she goes low, she's out, oh! She was calling it on that track. Took a little bit of a second, but they got it. Wow, look at all those penalties up. Looks like we've got a couple of arms from your Arizona blockers. So stopping from your She-Devil blockers. Both teams are going to be down 2 blockers for this next jam. 2-on-2 with 2 jammers. I mean, that's what I'm reading, but again, I'm not an official. I'm just on the microphone.
So it appears that has taken us up to our first quarter break. We are going to wait for the referee crew to finish discussing that one to make sure all the penalties are sorted out.
Looks like we got a double jammer down scenario, which means both teams will be getting a jammer for this next jam.
And we are getting word that there was time on the clock that as that last jam ended. So there will be one more jam here in the first quarter with no time left on the quarter clock. So we are just waiting for it to be sorted out. We are officially in an official timeout at the moment, and then we'll pick it up with one more jam in the first quarter. So we will get everything sorted out one more time. We've got a full complement of skaters for the She-Devils in the penalty box, but being a double jammer down situation, they will still have 2 blockers and a jammer out there once we pick up the action. And while the referee squad talks us over, we'd like to let you know, be sure to visit the Arizona Derby Dames merchandise booth to get your favorite league and team merchandise. We have t-shirts, tank tops, hats, koozies, beach towels, Christmas tree ornaments, as well as stickers and buttons of your favorite team. You could also have your name put on your shirt while you wait. Ask a representative at our merchandise booth for details. That's the Arizona Derby Dames merchandise booth. Also up that way by the merchandise booth and open for business, we've got our Siphon Draw Apothecary Shop booth, a sponsor of the league and a sponsor of Chingadera. All natural, non-toxic, handcrafted skincare products made by our very own Dali de los Muertos. Skaters and refs, don't forget to visit our booth by the merch to redeem your free goodie bag if you've not done so already this tournament and get 2 free gifts. You can also visit them in historic Goldfield Ghost Town, off of Highway 86. It's Siphon Draw Apothecary Shop.
Nissan Pathfinder. Nissan Pathfinder. Clap, 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 clap. Hey, it's the theme song of the Chingadera. Yay! Looks like we've got trouble on the jammer line for your She Devils up against Witchy Woman for your Arizona Hotties. With a 2-on-2.
There we are, Witchy Woman out to the front of the pack, signaling to call the jam as both jammers had shaken loose. And that's going to do it and take us to our quarter break once we get the official signal from the referee squad. And indeed, here comes Vladimir Skutin to let us know. Quarter break, he says, and that is the truth. So we have stepped to the quarter break at this time. So your score remains Hotties 51, She Devils 9, and we're going to step aside for a few minutes here and be back with second quarter action in this bout.
Be sure to visit the Arizona Derby Dames merch booth to get your favorite league and team merchandise. We have t-shirts, tank tops, hats, koozies, beach towels, Christmas tree ornaments, as well as stickers and buttons of your favorite team. You can also have your name put on your shirt while you are here. Ask a merch rep for details. Referees are getting in a position to blow that first whistle here of your second quarter. Score 51-9 with your Hotties in the lead. Here we go. We've got Make You Wink up against Princess Leia on that jammer line. But I see two blockers in the box for the She-Devils, so it's going to be 4-on-2 here. Make You Wink coming up on a defensive wall of Arizona. Princess Leia trying to get past Daddy Longlegs. Oh, it's Pikachu. Sorry, Pikachu. Pikachu breaking out there on turn 2 as your lead jammer. Great wall, defensive wall for Arizona. Pikachu approaching that pack for her first scoring pass. She's able to find those holes. Comes up against a Danny Longlegger, but she's able to break out of that pack here in turn 3 and coming around for more. There looks like there was a panty pass. Arizona was able to recycle right in front of that pivot to guard their points and to guard that panty pass. Pikachu trying to push up against Danny Longlegger to get some points and get past it, and she comes out of it and she calls the jam.
So before we get to the next jam, it appears we're going to have an official timeout by the regulator crew.
Looks like Gillen Miss Smalls and Watermelon both received penalties during that last jam. A directional for Gillen Miss Smalls and a multiplayer for Watermelon.
So we'd like to let you know about some more of our sponsors of the Chingadera tournament. Cisco is the food and water sponsor for Chingadera. They are the world's global food service leader. They sell and distribute food and non-food products to restaurants and healthcare and educational facilities around the world. That's Cisco. Also, if you've noticed, either here in person or on the broadcast, the beautiful artwork hanging here in the Hall of Dames, our team signs along the front straightaway, our standings board by the announcers booth, and the mural along the far wall. That's all done by Above and Beyond Palette Creations. Travis is repurposing palettes into art, and they created all the signage here in the Hall of Dames. You can find them on Facebook at Above and Beyond Palette Creations.
Looks like I see some refs getting into position for this next jam. We've got Ray on that jammer line for your She-Devils up against Witchy Woman for your Hotties. With a pack of 4-2. Witchy trying to find that hole to get out of that. She is not able to get out of that pack. She takes a hit to the inside, steps in, and then comes back on that track to try and break out. Meanwhile, we've got Ray coming up for her first scoring pass. Vava and Abby trying to secure a strong defensive wall there on the backside, but she's able to get out, and she calls it. Looks like we've got Sneaky Spice on the jammer line up against Rocky Horror for Arizona. Looks like Vavadoom picked up a penalty during that last jam, so she's going to be sitting in the blocker box, or in the penalty box as a blocker. Rocky Horror breaking out of that pack there in turn 1. With Sneaky Spice on her trail, about half a track behind her. Got Arizona trying to play offense for their jammer. She is able to step on over and through on that coping and calls the jam. Getting thumbs up from the pile-up that happened here in turn 4. Smiles on their faces.
So now setting up on the jammer line for Arizona is going to be Witchy Woman one more time, and she is going up against Trouble for the She-Devils. Full pack out there. Full pack, no penalties in that last jam. A big old cluster of humanity there for these jammers to fight their way through.
Looks like Rocky Horror was given a low block during that last jam, which is going to give your She-Devils a power jam.
So Trouble's going to be doing the jamming here for the She-Devils. Trouble into the inside, up to the outside, trying to fight her way past those last Arizona blockers. Now getting some help from her pivot, trying to get her way up there to give her jammer some assistance. Trouble is having difficulty. Trouble is having strife trying to get through that pack. Up to the outside she goes. And Trouble is still looks to be in some peril in the middle of the pack right there. And it appears that to the front of the pack goes the pivot. It's been a star pass, and finally able to fight her way clear is Ruby Bruisday. So Ruby Bruisday will be putting that star cover on now and is now the jammer on this power jam with 15 seconds to go. And she's going to see how many points she can pick up here. Ruby Bruisday squarely into that front wall of blockers for Arizona, who have escorted her down onto the infield like so many inclined planes. Ruby Bruisday trying to find her way through, and the jam clock expires.
Lots of great recycling from both of those teams during that jam. That was wonderful to see, but it looks like Abby Arsenic from the Hotties had picked up a directional block. Meanwhile, we've got Pikachu on that jammer line up against Make You Wink for your She-Devils. That's the whistle for that jam. Both jammers trying to find a spot to go through in this pack. Make You Wink is able to get out on that high side there in turn 1. Pikachu to come around for our first scoring pass. Pikachu is still not out of that pack, still not past that last final She-Devil blocker, but she makes it in turn 3. Meanwhile, Make You Wink is trying to come up for her first scoring pass. She's breaking out of that pack, watching the other jammer, and she calls it before Pikachu has a chance to score any points for Arizona. It looks like Kilame Smalls picked up a low block during that previous jam. She'll be sitting as a blocker in the penalty box.
So setting up the jam now is going to be Princess Leia for Arizona, and that's Ray for the She-Devils. Princess Leia up to the front of the pack, trying to get by the pivot, but is pushed off onto the infield as the pack passes her by now. Ray is up towards the front with Princess Leia now following her, but gets blocked off by a blocker. Neither jammer free with 20 seconds gone, and now the front blockers called out of play, and Ray is your lead jammer for the She-Devils. Princess Leia is still trying to fight her way through that defense towards the back of the pack, while Ray is now mid-pack on her first scoring pass. Princess Leia out the front end now, and she is clear of the pack and will be coming around. Ray is trying to make her way through the pack. That front wall of Arizona able to push it all through. Ray gets by and picks up her points, and she calls off the jam.
Looks like we've got Sneaky Spice on the jammer line for your She-Devils up against Skeletina for your Hotties.
We have a handful of penalties listed for the She-Devils in that last jam, so there are only 2 She-Devils blockers out there.
Whoa, Sneaky Spice trying to hit that back wall but ends up falling. Sneaky Spice out of that pack, but Skeletina is right behind her. Tina's trying to catch up with, looks like we've got a little bit of a race going on. Sneaky Spice trying to get up there to score some points for her team. She calls it. I don't think that Skeletina was able to pick up any points during that jam. I was right.
So now sitting up on the jammer line is going to be Trouble for the She-Devils, and it's Princess Leia for the Hotties.
Looks like Pixie's Thrust and Nick Nasty picked up a penalty during that last jam. So your She-Devils are skating 2 blockers light.
Princess Leia up to the outside, laboring and endeavoring, and she gets on through on the outside and is lead jammer for the Hotties. Meanwhile, hung up in the back of the pack was who formerly, and now Trouble, okay. Trouble gets through the pack holding the star cover in her hand, puts it back on, and she's clear of the pack as well. Princess Leia gets by, she picks up her points and calls off the jam.
You've got Make You Wink on that jammer line for your She-Devils up against Pikachu for Arizona. We've got the She-Devils skating 1 blocker light because that blocker, Ruby Bruisey, got a failure to reform during that last jam. Make You Wink trying to get out on that high side. Pikachu also trying to get out on that high side. Going up against Daddy Longlegger. And Pikachu is out in turn 2. Oh no, we just witnessed a successful panty pass there on that inside. Danny Longlegger will be acting as your jammer as soon as she puts that panty on her head. Pikachu is watching the other jammer and decides to call it before she approaches the pack. Looks like Rocky Horror picked up an arms penalty during that last jam, so Arizona's going to be skating 1 blocker light. We've got Witchy Woman on the jammer line for Arizona up against Ray from the She-Devils.
And so this jam gets underway. Up to the outside goes Ray. There's an opening up that way, and she takes lead jammer for the She-Devils. Witchy Woman hung up inside that pack, which is moving slowly through the first turn, and is now able to shake clear herself. Along the back straightaway, Ray is mid-pack. Gets knocked up into the rail there by one of those front defenders of Arizona. Ray gets around, tries to get to the outside, goes ahead and calls off the jam.
We've got Sneaky Spice on that jammer line for the She-Devils up against Rocky Horror for Arizona. Looks like one of the She-Devil blockers picked up a penalty during that last jam. Sneaky Spice hitting Watermelon. Watermelon taking a hard spill down there on the straightaway. Sneaky Spice is able to get out on turn 2. Rocky Horror still stuck behind the She-Devil defense. Danny Longlegger making sure that she stays right in front, but ultimately Rocky Horror breaks out of that pack here in turn 3. Sneaky Spice trying to get some points for her team. She ends up getting hit down into the inside. Sneaky Spice gets on the track and calls it before Rocky Horror picks up any points for the Hotties. Looks like Rocky Horror picked up a penalty during that last jam. She got a black block, which is going to give a power jam for the She-Devils.
So it's going to be trouble doing the jamming for the She-Devils here. Weaves her way to the inside, back up to the outside, and she's clear of the pack. Will be coming around for her first scoring pass attempt here with just 50 seconds to go in the jam. Trouble approaching the pack now, down to the inside, up to the outside, trying to find a way around that Arizona 3 wall. And no way around the outside there. That's a sturdy wall. Trouble's trying to find her way through. She is having some difficulties trying to negotiate with that. However, able to get by on the inside there on the first scoring pass. 25 seconds to go here in the power jam. Trouble coming on around. Trouble is beating down their door. Now those Arizona blockers able to form all 4 of them together to get a 4-wall. I can see Abby Arsenic in there. It looks like Killimace. That's Pretty Please, I believe. Also in there playing some defense. And that is going to do it for the power jam. We will wait for the official score.
Looks like we've got Pikachu taking the jammer line for Arizona up against Make You Wink for the She-Devils. But we do have 2 blockers from the She-Devils sitting in the penalty box. We've got Bomber for an arms, and we've got Ruby Bruisey for a directional block. Make You Wink approaching that Arizona defensive while unable to break through and break past it. Smalls jam it, and Watermelon doing a great job of holding her back. And Pikachu is out there on turn 2. That She-Devil jammer still having a hard time to break through that wall. That wall doing a great job of keeping it nice and slow. Pikachu trying to come down on that inside. Takes a small hit to the inside. Gets back on that track. Still trying to break through for her first scoring pass. Pikachu breaks out here in turn 3. She's got 25 seconds left on that clock, and that other jammer is still in the pack. Looks like we have a panty pass. Danny Longleg will now be acting as the jammer for this jam. Pikachu coming up for her scoring pass. Able to swoop right on past that blocker and the second one and calls that jam. Great job, Pikachu.
And it does appear that we did have an arms penalty on Killing Me Smalls, and as the jammer, an arms penalty on Pikachu. So they are both sitting in the penalty box, and it's going to be a power jam for the She-Devils. That is going to be Ray doing the jamming here on the power jam. She has run into that front defense of Arizona as they head into the back straightaway. Ray is just trying to muscle her way through that 3-wall. Now getting some help from her blockers. They're trying to spring her on the outside, but that door has been closed by the Arizona defense. Ray is trying to find her way through, fighting her way to the front now, trying to elbow her way past that last Arizona defender, and is not budging. That's Abby Arsenic, number 1/3 on the front there. Abby Arsenic puts a shoulder into her. Now it's been a star pass off to the front, and the star has been passed to Ruby Bruisday with 15 seconds left in this power jam. Ruby Bruisday now trying to catch up to the pack, and we'll see if she can have any more success than the prior jammer. Ruby Bruisday down to the inside and knocked off her skates, has to get up and reestablish with 3 seconds to go in the jam. Again, bumps into a jammer, and that's going to do it. The clock expires on the power jam.
Looks like we've got Sneaky Spice on the jammer line for your She-Devils up against Skeletina for your Hotties. With a 3-on-3 pack, I see that the She-Devils picked up a couple of penalties during that last jam. Looks like a couple of directional blocks by... Hold on. I'm not going to say anything because they're making adjustments on that whiteboard. Skeletina and Sneaky Spice trying to break out of the pack, and both of them are out, but Skeletina trips and falls, gets right back up, and she's half a track behind that other jammer. Sneaky Spice approaching the pack for her first scoring pass. Swoops low, is able to break through and calls the jam. Skeletina unable to even reach the pack before she calls that jam.
And marching up the track is Vladimir Skutin to let us know that it is halftime. So we have reached the halftime break. And as we head into our 15-minute halftime, your score is going to be Hotties 80, She-Devils 53. And we'll be back with you in 15 minutes with more Derby action here in this bout.
I just got word that there are Girl Scout cookies outside. There is a Girl Scout cookie vendor outside with us today. If you are interested in any Girl Scout cookies, you should go outside. They're selling them out there. If you have not visited our food truck, Off the Hook Taco Truck, they are locally owned and operated taco trucks serving SoCal Baja-inspired cuisine. Visit them outside for some delicious food. They have chicken and vegetarian options available as well. Gucci Gang.
Derby fans, we'd like to let you know that if you'd like to pick up some Pin Jersey Roller Derby merchandise, the official Pin Jersey travel team contingent cheering section for the Pin Jersey Metropolitan Statistical Area is selling merchandise. So visit them over here under the Lost Dutchman tattoo banner. You can't miss them. It's all the people making the noise over there in the back straightaway, currently applauding, waving, occasionally fist pumping. That's the Pin Jersey squad, and they are selling merchandise today.
They've got merchandise. Clap, 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 clap. Clap, 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 clap. Clap, 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 clap. I'm actually surprised you didn't think about it sooner, since you chant so much. Thank you. There's your ibuprofen. Wonderful. We are counting down 10 seconds left in our halftime. Going into the third quarter, we've got a score of 80. We are Arizona Hotties up against the She Devils with 52 points. We've got Malice Forethought on the jammer line for your Hotties up against Make You Wink for the She Devils. Got 4-on-2. Make You Wink trapped behind a wall, a defensive wall of Arizona. Malice Forethought having a hard time breaking past those two blockers for the She Devils. We've got both jammers still in that pack trying to break out to score some points. Malice Forethought out on turn 2. That She Devil jammer is still trapped behind that defensive wall of Arizona. She's trying to work for it and get out, but she's not able to. Malice Forethought coming around on that high side, scoring some points, able to slice right on through those two She Devil blockers and come around for some more points. She still has 20 seconds left on that clock. Make You Wink still in that box, but she passes the jammer panty on over to that pivot. And Ruby Bruisday will be your jammer for the She Devils. She's not able to approach that pack quite fast enough. Malice Forethought calling that jam before Ruby gets any points. Malice picking up 9 points during that jam.
Setting up the jam now for Arizona for the first time today is going to be Watermelon. And jamming for the She Devils is Ray. Looks like we got some penalties called on both sides. It looks like we have 2 penalties. We have 2 blockers sitting for Arizona and 1 blocker for the She Devils in the box. And going by on the outside and taking over as lead jammer is Ray. Watermelon able to dispense with that last blocker of the She Devils to clear the pack as well, and is trying to catch up as they come down out of the first turn, and Ray calls it off as they approach the pack.
Witchy Woman lining up on that jammer line for Arizona up against Trouble for your She Devils. We've got a 4-on-4 pack in that blocker box. And that's the whistle. Trouble trying to go low there, and she runs right up into Abby Arsenic, not able to get past Abby Arsenic, and Pretty Please. She's trying, though. Abby Arsenic taking down to that inside. Pretty Please trying to make sure that she stays in front of that other jammer. We've got Witchy Woman out of the pack there in turn 2, coming around for her first scoring pass. Trouble's able to break out here in turn 3. Witchy Woman able to break through that wall of She Devils and calls the jam.
Witchy Woman looked around to see and saw that the other jammer Trouble had a head of steam, so went ahead and called it off before doing battle with the She Devils pivot. And picking up 3 points was Witchy Woman. So we got a score of 92-52 with 12 minutes to go here in the third quarter. That's going to be Skeletina jamming for Arizona, and it is Sneaky Spice for the She Devils. Skeletina breaks free of the pack, and she is your lead jammer. Not far behind is Sneaky Spice, however. Skeletina, one of the faster skaters out there, is going to try to get back the pack here, definitely opening up a lead on Sneaky Spice. As Skeletina gets to the pack, gets by on the inside of the track, picks up her points, and calls off the jam.
Looks like we've got Princess Leia on that jammer line for Arizona up against Make You Wink for your She-Devils. We've got Danny Longlegger picked up a penalty during that last jam, so the She-Devils are going to be short a blocker during this jam. Make You Wink trapped behind that wall of Arizona. Princess Leia's out in turn one, getting past those She-Devil blockers. Arizona doing a great job of recycling back to the front of the pack while that other jammer is still not out. Princess Leia coming up for her first scoring pass. She's able to get out on that high and come around for more. She still has 35 seconds left on that clock. Looks like Ruby Bruze is going to be the jammer for your She-Devils with another panty pass that we see from your She-Devils. Princess Leia is able to break through that pack and call it before Ruby Bruze gets a chance to pick up any points. We've got Ray on the jammer line for She-Devils. We've got Watermelon on the jammer line for Arizona. Trying to break through that pack, but Arizona's defensive wall on the backside is very strong. Watermelon out of the pack there in turn two, coming around for her first scoring pass. And that She-Devil jammer is not wearing a helmet, Panny. She's gonna try and pick it up. She's got it in her hand. She's got to put it on her helmet to score any points.
And Watermelon goes ahead and calls off that jam as Ray had reestablished herself as a jammer and was approaching the pack rapidly.
Pretty Please.
Setting up now to jam for Arizona for the first time today is Pretty Please on the jammer line. Going up against Trouble for the She-Devils. So Pretty Please up to the high side. Pretty Please trying to fight her way past that last blocker of the She-Devils. That was Bomber up in front there. And Pretty Please able to dispense with one, and then trying to do battle to get past that last blocker who takes her off onto the infield. Pretty Please now to the outside. However, with a show of exasperation, that last blocker was called out of play, and Pretty Please is out and clear as their lead jammer. Towards the back of the pack now, we are looking to see nobody wearing a star on their helmet, so we are going to wait and find out who's got it in their hand. Pretty Please gets through on a scoring pass, meanwhile, as the blockers were focused on all of that going on towards the front of the pack. Looks like we have had a pass. It's that pivot up to the front there has got the star cover in her hand. That's going to be Bomber at the front of the pack. Bomber now shakes loose, and she'll be putting that on momentarily. Jam clock expires before anything comes of it, however.
We've got Skeletina on that jammer line for Arizona up against Sneaky Spice for your She-Devils. Maybe not.
Sneaky Spice called down, so and we do confirm on the board we did have a penalty called on the jammer.
Bomber receiving an arms penalty during the last jam, so this is going to be a power jam for Arizona.
And that is definitely going to be your co-captain, Skeletina, doing the jamming here for Arizona. Got two blockers out there on the front end. Now three blockers on the front end from the She-Devils trying to hold her into the pack. Trying to find a way through up to the outside now. Now get some help from her pivot, racing up there, trying to help Springer. Skeletina doing battle down the inside with the pivot for the She-Devils, and Skeletina able to shake loose and is clear of the pack. Coming up now, that Arizona four wall is holding in one of the blockers for the She-Devils. Skeletina doing it on her lonesome out there to the front. Runs into a two wall that's formed by John Doe and Monster. And Skeletina able to deposit that last blocker onto the infield and is waved on by the referees. So Skeletina coming around again for another scoring pass with 11 seconds to go here in this power jam. Skeletina down to the inside, dodges a rear end block from the last blocker, gets through the others, and she's clearing a scoring pass, and the jam clock is going to run out.
Great job, We've got Princess Leia on that jammer line for your hotties up against Sneaky Spice. Oh my goodness, it looks like the She Devils picked up a whole slew of penalties during that last jam. They're going to only render 2 blockers and a jammer for this set, this jam. Meanwhile, Arizona's got 4 blockers with their jammer. Waiting for the rest to blow that whistle for this jam. Waiting on that whistle some more.
And we're taking a look. Referees finger guns up, we're ready to go, they said.
Princess Leia running on that coping, right in that straightaway, able to get out right before turn 1. Sneaky Spice trapped behind Abby Arsenic, not able to break out of that pack quite yet. Arizona defensive wall doing a great job of staying together and keeping her right behind them. Princess Leia takes a hard hit to that inside front. Ruby Bruisday, she's not able to get past. She trips and falls to that inside, trying to get up to get her points. Meanwhile, Sneaky Spice is still stuck behind Arizona. She reaches for her helmet and takes that panty off, but Abby Arsenic is doing a great job of keeping her back.
Big collision there as the star cover was handed off. We do have a successful star pass. Ruby Bruisday taking over as jammer. Princess Leia, meanwhile, weaves her way through the pack on a scoring pass. Keeping an eye on things, letting some time run off the clock. And goes ahead and calls off the jam as Ruby Bruisday had officially established herself as the jammer. Marching to the top of the track is Vladimir Skutin to let us know it's going to be an official timeout. So an official timeout here by the regulators. They are going to talk over some of the action that just occurred in that last jam. We would like to let you know one more time, the Pin Jersey fan contingent are selling merchandise for the Pin Jersey Roller Derby squad.
They've got merchandise.
Clap, 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 clap.
They've got merchandise.
They're right there in the back straightaway, right underneath the Lost Dutchman tattoo sign. And again, also like to let you know that Girl Scout cookies being sold outside all day. So if you were looking for a little bit of a sugar boost, and if you want to eat some Samoas because they're the best cookies, or if you want to come up here and fight me if you think something else is the best cookie, Girl Scout cookies sold all day outdoors. So pop a head on outside and get yourself some sweets.
If I'm reading the board correctly, it looks like the jammer from Arizona received a cut during that last jam. So they're going to be down a blocker and a jammer. Pin Jersey's going to be down a blocker, but they will have a jammer, which means power jam for the She Devils.
We'd like to let you know about one of our sponsors of the Arizona Derby Dames and a sponsor of the Chingadera tournament. It's Third Space. It was the location of the official after party, which was last night. Apparently was a good time had by all. I was home like a good boy, sleeping and resting up for today. Aren't I great? Third Space is a cafe, bar, coffee, shops, ice cream, music. They're at 1028 Grand Avenue on the corner of 11th Avenue and Grand. And it's our official location of the after parties after every Derby Dames bout this season. So for our next league bout next Saturday, February 24th, for the Coffin Draggers taking on the as yet undefeated Schoolyard Scrappers on the league season, the after party will be at Third Space once that bout ends around 8:30 p.m. That's Third Space. They have fried bologna sandwiches.
Looks like Arizona is only sending out 2 blockers for this jam, and so are the She Devils. It is a power jam for Arizona. Pikachu taking that jammer line for Arizona. Pikachu's able to get up through that high and out through that low. She's out on turn 1.
So Pikachu out and clear on this power jam. Very, very small pack there. Only 2 blockers for each side. Pikachu manages to find her way through. Arizona playing some man-to-man defense there. Now they've got the pack split up. They've got one of them pinned in behind them. Pikachu approaches Pikachu down to the inside. Those blockers, though, able to get back in front of her. Now her blockers coming up to give her a hand. It's Rocky Horror and Killin' May Smalls helping out their jammer. Pikachu shakes loose with 10 seconds to go in the power jam. Pikachu this time to the inside, sways to the outside, and gets through the pack for another scoring pass.
Looks like we've got Indy on that jammer line for Arizona. Up against Make You Wink for your She-Devils. Four on three in that blocker box. The She-Devils picking up a penalty from that last jam, so they're going to be down one blocker. Indy is able to break out of that pack on turn one. And she's coming around for her first scoring pass. Wow.
Indy
She is
out there
flying by.
absolutely making the most of her first jam of the day here for the Hotties.
Man, you know, her name totally suits her. She is so fast on those skates. Indy 500. We've got Arizona doing a great job of keeping at least one or two goats behind them to help their jammer out get there faster. Indy is through again. That other jammer is out of that pack as well now.
Indy's checking the clock, and the jam clock is going to expire. A very good jam there for Indy on her first jam of the day. With 2.5 minutes to go here in the third quarter, we will wait for the official score. And it was a 15-point regular jam for Indy, so that's going to push the Arizona lead up to 166-52.
Looks like Monster picked up a directional block during that last jam, so they'll be skating a jammer blocker short during this jam. We've got Skeletina jamming for Arizona up against Ray from your She-Devils. Both jammers still in that pack, unable to break through quite yet. And Skeletina is out on turn two. Ray is still struggling to get past Arizona, having a hard time breaking through that defensive wall as Skeletina comes around and approaches the pack for her first scoring pass. I see the She-Devils take that panty off their helmet again. Here we go. It's just dangling in her hand. Skeletina is breaking out of that pack on that inside. Coming around for another scoring pass. The She-Devil jammer is still in the pack. Arizona doing a great job of staying in front of her, but she runs out of that pack. Rocky delivering a hit to that inside, taking that jammer down. And that's the jam. Skeletina was able to pick up 10 points during that jam. Great job, Skeletina. That's Leia? No, that's Pikachu.
No, that's Leia.
It's Leia?
Yeah. So we did have a penalty called on one of the She-Devils jammers in the last jam. So this is going to be a power jam for Arizona. It's Princess Sleia. And she is through the pack now with 45 seconds to go here in the power jam. And she's your lead jammer. Well, she's the only jammer, so she is the jammer of record for the jam. Coming on around now is Princess Sleia, catching up to the pack one more time. Up to the outside, easily right through that pack. Easy breezy, like that scene where all the Mighty Ducks are skating on inline skates through a shopping mall. Now coming on around again down the far turn and down the front straightaway comes Princess Sleia. This time ends up getting knocked off onto the infield, but she's back up on her wheels, reestablishes, and is going to take another shot at it here. Dispenses with those blockers, both of them trying to stop her, and Princess Sleia said, please have a seat. And she goes ahead and calls off the jam with just 3 seconds left on the jam clock. So that's going to do it for that jam. And marching up the track is game executioner Vladimir Skutin. And he announces that we are at the quarter break. So we will step aside for a break in the action. 5 minutes until we get to the fourth quarter. Your score right now, the Arizona Derby Dames Hotties 186, Pin Jersey Roller Derby She Devils 52. We'll be back in a moment.
We've got Watermelon on that jammer line for Arizona. Up against Make You Wink for She Devils. Watermelon able to break out on that high or get past her own blocker. She's trying to break out of that pack there on turn one. Make You Wink trapped behind Rocky Horror and Smalls from Arizona, having a hard time trying to get past them. Both jammers still in that pack. I see Arizona doing great offense for Watermelon. Watermelon still not able to break through that pack. She is out on that straightaway and coming around for her first scoring pass. Make You Wink still trapped behind Arizona. Not able to break out quite yet until turn 4. I see Arizona trying to play some offense there for their jammer.
And
that's the jam.
A break in the action here.
We're going to take just a moment.
And it's good to see the skater up on her wheels and helped over to the bench. That was Pixie Thrust. Got tangled up in a massive collection of bodies there at the top of the front straightaway. And our medical crew into action. We don't like to have to refer on them, but when we do, they spring into action and they are taking care of Pixie Thrust over on the She Devils bench.
Looks like Damage Jammin picked up an arms during that last penalty, so your Arizona Hotshots, or sorry, your Hotties are going to be skating one blocker short during this jam. Tiny human? You mean a baby? Waiting on our officials to get ready for this next jam.
And there we are. We've got
Pretty Please on that jammer line for Arizona.
And she's going up against Ray for the She Devils. We got all the scoring sorted out after that last jam, and we're ready to get back underway here. Ray down to the inside, able to find herself an opening, and Ray is your lead jammer for the She Devils. Pretty Please trying to fight her way through at the front of the pack, able to bump that last blocker aside, and Pretty Please is clear as well. About a half-track disadvantage to the lead jammer at the moment, who is Ray for the She Devils. Ray trying to fight her way through. And Ray is knocked askew, and Ray calls off the jam from a seated position on the track.
Oh, it looks like Pretty Please picked up a cut during that jam. It's just going to give a power jam on over to the She Devils. We've got trouble on the jammer line for your She Devils for this power jam. 4-on-4 in that blocker box. Trouble approaching that pack, trying to get past, and she goes to that inside, is able to swoop her hips around Killing Me Smalls, and is going to come around for her first scoring pass. Arizona doing a great job of getting their wall together up at the front. Trouble trying to break through that Arizona defense and unable to. Trouble breaking out through that inside, right down the center of the pack. Coming around for another scoring pass. Kilame Smalls able to get past that last She-Devil blocker. They were trying to goad her, but it was unsuccessful. Trouble coming around for another scoring pass. The She-Devils trying to do some great offense there. They're able to get one of the Arizona blockers in the back, but Rocky escapes that go position, and Trouble is going to have to fight against all four of them again. Looks like Monster picked up a directional block during that last jam. So the She-Devils are going to be down one blocker for this jam. We've got Indy 500 taking that jammer line for your Arizona Hotties up against Sneaky Spice.
This one is underway, and Indy right up the middle of the pack, just barreling her way through there, and she's the lead jammer. Sneaky Spice is behind, about a third of the track behind her, gaining rapidly. Indy is going to try to get some points here up to the front side. Blast right by that two wall on the rail, and calls off the jam after picking up her points.
We've got Skeletina up against Make You Wink, except I see their coach, Troy McClure, pull down Skeletina because Indy 500 picked up an arms penalty during that jam, which means this is going to be a power jam for the She-Devils.
You can see those Arizona defenders already got their arms linked. They've got one job, and that job is to not let Make You Wink through right now. So they are going to be fighting hard. Make You Wink trying to find some purchase along the outside rail. And those blockers for Arizona say, no, you can't. This is my rail. You cannot have it. She's trying to get through now down to the inside. Kilame Smalls not letting her by. That pack inching forward all the way down here. It's a defensive struggle in the trenches. It's like an offensive battle on the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. As they come through the far turn here, looks like we have had a star pass they're trying to execute. And with that, Watermelon's able to get ungoated and comes back to the front of the pack here. So the four Arizona defenders get together on the front end. 6 seconds, 5 seconds to go here in this power jam. That Arizona defense, stout, stern, in other words, to start with S&T. And the clock expires on the power jam.
Great power defense by your Arizona Hotties. That was wonderful. I've got Witchy Woman taking that jammer line for Arizona. Up against Ray for your She-Devils. Looks like Killing Miss Smalls picked up a multiplayer block, but the jammer for the She-Devils also got it above the shoulders, and they have another blocker down for a back block and a failure to reform, which means that your She-Devils are down a blocker and a jammer. Arizona sending out 3 blockers for this power jam. Looks like we've got an official timeout. O-T-O-T-O.
So the referee crew's going to get together and sort out the penalties there where there's some discussion going on. So we're going to make sure we got all the I's crossed and the T's dotted. And we will go ahead and let you know about Above and Beyond Palette Creations one more time. They are repurposing pallets into art and have created all of our signage here in the Hall of Dames, including those beautiful team signs along the front straightaway that you've been seeing if you've been watching the webcast. Also up here by the announcer's booth is our standings board and that beautiful mural along the far wall that people like to take pictures in front of. All of that's done by Travis with Above and Beyond Palette Creations. If you're interested in having some art done, you can find him on Facebook at Above and Beyond Palette Creations. And also, we've got Plague Fitness, providing those infected by fitness, roller derby, and healthy living with clothing for that contagious lifestyle. Looking for something to wear? Visit their booth next to the merch window for some sweet apparel, or visit their website at plaguedfitness.com. That's plagued with a D, fitness.com. Another one of our vendors who's been present all weekend is Devastation, a premier source for skates and skating equipment at prices that simply cannot be beat. Armor up for roller derby or stay protected with simple street safety equipment. Devastation has it all. They're here in the Hall of Dames all weekend over by the AV stage and the merch window. You could also visit them at devastation.com or stop by their warehouse at 2010 East University in Tempe.
Looks like both teams picked up a few penalties during that last jam, so the Hotties are going to only be sending out 2 blockers, and your She Devils, 3 blockers, no jammer. Again, power jam for Arizona. Witchy Woman taking that jammer line for your Arizona Hotties. Witchy Woman trying to go up on that high, unsuccessful up against those She Devil blockers, but finally breaks out in turn 1. Witchy Woman coming around for her first scoring pass. Mallets, the 4th in. Abby Arsenic doing a great job of keeping that goat behind them. Abby Arsenic breaking off to play some offense for their jammer. Witchy Woman taking a hit to the inside. She gets back up on that track because that other blocker also stepped off of that track. So she's able to get right in front of them without it causing a penalty. The pack is nice and slow as Witchy is approaching it to score some more points. Witchy goes high, and her teammates are trying to play some offense for her. She breaks through on that straightaway again. She's got 12 seconds left on that clock. I think she can come around for one more scoring pass. Witchy's able to procure some more points during that last pass. Let's see how many points she picked up during that power jam. I see 13 points for your Arizona Hotties.
Setting up the jam now is going to be Ray for the She Devils and Pikachu for the Arizona Hotties. Pikachu taking the direct approach and ends up onto the infield directly. Now trying to get down to the middle of the pack. I did see a star cover being whipped off demonstratively by one of the She Devils, so we will wait to see what happens there. Meanwhile, Pikachu emerges from the front of the pack, and she is your lead jammer. Back here is Ray carrying that star cover in her hand, and she manages to get Rocky pushed far enough away to be called out a play. Pikachu now in the middle of the pack. Rocky just trying to get out of her way. Pikachu with a full head of steam, trying to blast her way through and gets by on the inside on a scoring pass. And Pikachu calls off the jam before Ray can catch up.
I've got Princess Leia on that jammer line for Arizona up against trouble for your She Devils. The She Devils picking up a couple of penalties during that last jam, so they're going to have 2 blockers in the penalty box for this jam. That's the whistle for the jam. Slaya able to get past her own blockers, and her own blockers securing trouble behind them. Princess Leia getting out on turn 1. Coming around for her first scoring pass. Trouble is still in the pack. Not able to get past Indy, Abby, and Pretty. They're doing a great job of holding her in. Indy 500 ends up in front of that pivot as that pivot picks up that jammer panty from the jammer. Princess Leia able to get past that pack and on through while the other pivot is trying to put on that jammer panty. She's unsuccessful. Leia gets her point and she calls it.
So now scoring up on the jammer line for Arizona is going to be Watermelon, and that is Sneaky Spice for the She Devils. Got some transactions going on. We had a penalty on one of the blockers for Arizona. Pretty Please got a failure to reform penalty, so she is in the box. Schizo Frantic picked up a penalty for She Devils, so it is a 4-on-4 affair out there right now. And to the front of the pack goes Sneaky Spice, and she is your lead jammer. Mid-pack, meanwhile, Watermelon gets dumped off onto the infield. Now trying to make her way through, taking advantage of the fact that they're focused on that, though. Sneaky Spice, sneaky and spicily along the coping on the inside of the track, gets by on a scoring pass. Now free of the pack as well as Watermelon, so Sneaky Spice observing that. It's going to see how many points she can get. Pulls through, gets by all of the Arizona skaters, and she calls off the jam. Snaky Spice picking up a full 9 points there on that jam, and it looks like we've got May Q Wink setting up the jam for the She-Devils along with Witchy Woman for the Hotties.
Looks like Pikachu picked up a low block during that last jam, so your Arizona Hotties are going to be down 1 blocker for this jam. Make You Wink and Witchy Woman. Let's see. We've got Make You Wink out on that inside coping, running straight on through. No other blocker in her way. Witchy Woman able to break out of that pack there in turn 2. Make You Wink coming up on her first scoring pass. Witchy Woman is half a track behind her. She's able to break through, and she calls it.
Stepping up into the jammer line now with just more than 4 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter in regulation. That's going to be Skeletina for the Hotties, and it is Ray for your She-Devils. Whoa, Black Betty, Bramble Pants. Skeletina now middle of the pack, trying to outrun that last blocker to the corner, not able to get there, but the other blocker ends up on the infield as well, so the referees wave her on. Skeletina is moving on as your lead jammer for the Hotties. Ray is still hung up in the pack. That defense, stout as it's been all the time. Skeletina tried to leap over a fallen skater, didn't quite clear, clipped her back, and ended up taking a tumble. Now Skeletina shoved down onto the infield. That pivot for the She-Devils is giving it all and not letting Skeletina through. That is Bomber out there. And Skeletina trying to cling to the inside of the track, but Bomber bumped her off, but also ended up on the infield as well. So Skeletina, without risk of penalty, able to get back up and continue skating. And Skeletina's just letting some time run off the clock here as she approaches the pack. Now with 3 seconds left in the jam clock, Skeletina down to the inside, collides with Bomber one last time. And that's going to do it for the jam clock.
Looks like we've got Vava Doom taking that jammer line for Arizona. Happy birthday. We've got trouble on that jammer line for your She-Devils as well. I see a penalty for number 39, Bomber. Couple of penalties, actually. They're going to be down a blocker during this jam. Oh, Vava Doom is going high, trying to break through that pack. I see trouble trapped behind a wall of Arizona. Indy 500 doing some great offense for Vava Doom. Vava Doom is your lead jam for this jam. Lead jammer. Breaking out there on turn 2, coming around for her first scoring pass. A lot of action from Arizona. Vava Doom's trying to come through that pack. She's able to get through. Swoop slow, dodging that blocker. Doing a great job. I believe there was or is a panty pass situation going on. I cannot see it in her hand. She's got it crumpled up. Danny Longlegger coming out. Finally breaking out of that pack there in turn 1. Vava Doom coming around for another scoring pass. Tries to go high, but those blockers get in her way. I believe now that Trouble is blocking her when she was the jammer at the beginning of this. Vava Doom breaking through. And that's the jam. Great job, Vava Doom. She was able to secure 9 points for the Arizona Hotties, bringing their score to 239. Arizona Hotties to 80. PJRD She-Devils.
So we've got Watermelon setting up the jam for Arizona, and that's May Q Wink jamming for the She-Devils. As we approach 1 minute to go in regulation, May Q Wink getting shoved off onto the infield repeatedly by Pretty Please and Killin' May Smalls. Up to the outside of the track, to the front of the pack is Watermelon, and she is routed down onto the inside by Sneaky Spice. We're in that pivot stripe. Bumped off onto the infield again, and trying to reestablish behind the skater that knocked her off is Watermelon. Doing battle and shoved off onto the infield one more time, and down to the inside. It's a successful start pass, and Sneaky Spice takes over as the jammer for the She-Devils. 20 seconds left in the jam, 29 seconds left in the game clock, so we're going to have at least one more jam. Sneaky Spice, now your lead jammer, is caught up to the pack and is trying to fight her way through, seeing if she can get some points scored here. And Sneaky Spice does call off the jam. We will see if Watermelon was able to get any points there.
Looks like there is time for one more jam. We've got Indy 500 lining up for Arizona up against Ray from the She-Devils. A blocker each from each team receiving a penalty during that last jam. So we're going to have a 3-on-3 blocker situation in that box. We see Ray running out like a lightning bolt on that straightaway. I see Indy jumping over skaters to get through, and she's going to try to catch up to Ray. We've got a jammer race going on. She's going very fast. Ray's able to get through, or trying to at least. Indy 500 stealing lead jam! And that's the jam. Good job, Indy.
Indy to the high side there, got her points, and she called off the jam.
Wow, what a great end of the game. I'm going to wait for the officials to give us the official call, but that was a wonderful jam.
So the referee's going to talk this one over. We'll wait for penalties to be assigned, but I do see head referee Hoover Slam skating out to let us know with the official signal of the final score. Arizona Derby Dames Hotties 243 and the Pin Jersey Roller Derby She Devils 87.